Oh, right. Welcome to the 10 Coach Dynasty here in NCAA Football 14, well now College Football Revamped. And today we'll be going over the preseason, kind of just running you guys up on some quick things about the season. So here are our coaches. They're a combine of guys fired from 2020 in the NFL and in college football. So yeah, we got Will Muschamp. After his disappointing stretch at South Carolina, he gets fired, but he still lands a head coach job at Air Force. See if he can rebuild the program. Now we went based off for these schools. We went off the 1-star, then 2-star. So for the 1-stars, we picked all the 1-stars, and the 2-stars, we picked the lowest overall 2-stars that were representing each conference. So we had 2 in the MAC, 2 in the Mountain West, 2 in the American, 2 in the Sun Belt, and 2 in Conference USA. So, Will Muschamp going out west to Air Force. Doug Marrone, after his failed stint in Jacksonville for the Jacksonville Jaguars, will come down and go to ULM. He had some other opportunities to go coach at the NFL level, not head coach or anything, just to be kind of like an analyst, but he decided to take a head coach job at ULM. Dan Quinn is now the new head coach of the Lobos. He did not want to take the defensive coordinator job at Dallas Cowboys after his failed run with the Falcons. He had actually had a pretty long, good, decent career there at the Falcons, just could never get over the hump. He now is the new head coach of the Lobos, trying to rebuild his status. Anthony Lynn, another one of those coaches that kind of fell out. Chargers kind of struggled. 2020, he got fired. He is now with Bowling Green. Bill O'Brien, former GM, was going to be a Patriots defensive analyst, but now he's going to head coach the UTSA Roadrunners. Tom Herman, fresh off of his Texas failed program there, but he's going to come to Tulsa trying to rejuvenate or get them going again. Doug Peterson had a failed stint with the Eagles. He comes down to Georgia Southern. He had a long, pretty good, solid career in the Eagles, though. So Southern trying to rebuild this program. Matt Patricia, after failing as head coach in the Lions, drops down to college. He wants to head coach, and he got the job in Akron. Adam Gase, probably one of the weirdest coaches we've ever seen. He decides to go to UTEP. Well, that's what his only job was, besides being defensive analyst, I think, or some offensive analyst for the Patriots. And then Derek Mason, after a pretty miserable tenure at Vanderbilt, will become the new coach. So, for each coach, we'll just go over our contract situation, kind of an overview of the schedule and what the goals should be, and that. So, obviously, it's our first year. There's head coach Will Muschamp. We'll have our. So for Will Muschamp, he hired Mike Thiessen for his offensive coordinator and John Rudisinski for the defensive coordinator. They're all level 1, so they're all kind of starting fresh. Not everyone's going to be like, here's some XP goals that we'll be looking at. Shouldn't be too hard to break this. These are pretty easy records to break, especially the past 2000 season, because we're not going to rock the Air Force triple option and stuff. Here's what job I'm looking for. Here's the contract. Probably the longest contract we got. Air Force signed to 7 years. Now, this is probably not going to last 2019, but this at least allows us to have 2 under 500. Like we can have 2 years we don't make a bowl. These 2 years, but then we have to start picking it up these next years. 20 months per year is 8. It's kind of a lot, but I think even if we underperform, like I said, the first years, it's a long enough contract. I don't think they'll fire us. We might in a hot seat, but we'll see. Obviously, I see the top rivals are going to be key. Top 25 is going to be key. Home wins, I guess, will be pretty good. It's mainly just rivals top 25 teams that we're going to have to really get going. As you see here, though, they have made a bowl for 6 years in a row coming into this year. So it'd be kind of bad if we don't make a bowl game this year. But we'll see. This is probably the most secured out of all these coaches. It's kind of surprising, but really are. I'm gonna let the CPU recruiting. I'll make this as hard as possible for us, and eventually, once all these teams get good, before we take head coaching jobs at like Alabama or stuff, we're gonna hit the death penalty with the school. Probably put them back up again, just to make it even more fun. So yeah, I'll go to death chart before the game and stuff, but I'm just trying to get the bases, everything out of the way. So here's the schedule. We have Rice, week 1. Here's just look at our schedule. We have Rice week 1, the bye week 2. Week 3 was our first game of conference play against Boise. Then we have home against Wyoming. On the road to number 2 Oklahoma. It's gonna be a test. This game probably gonna be a blowout, but see what we can do. And then on the road to Navy, it's a rivalry game. First 2 rivalry games, maybe 3 actually, that we really need to take care of. Then we're at San Diego State, another bye, another rivalry game against Hawaii, and then obviously the Commanders Classic against the Army. Then home against New Mexico. Here's the final stretch of the games we got going on. So we have 4 rivalry games. We got Colorado State, Army, Hawaii, and Navy. We're gonna have to probably split this season with these guys if we really wanna, keep a good taste in the mouths of the guys. I mean the AD and everything. Week 1 hopefully should be a win. I doubt that because I don't know. Goal for this schedule, because there's probably definitely a loss there. We're not gonna have 3 or 4 losses in the conference, so I guess goal should probably be 5-7, 4-8. Should probably be a realistic goal. But then you gotta run the table. But yeah, I don't know. That's probably the goal for Air Force. That's kind of a little basis about them. Doug Marrone is an interesting situation as we go here to first. Let's look at these. We got he hired Rich Rodriguez as his offensive coordinator and Zach Alley as his defensive coordinator, all level 1s. Coach contracts, I think yeah, it's a 1-year deal and the target wins period is 6. Don't know how I'm going to approach this because they made a bowl game last year, but they've been pretty terrible like before that. So 1-year contract. We're gonna at least have to get 6 wins. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but got some schedules. Here's our schedule. We're off week 1, which is nice. Host Charlotte. Then this game is still gonna be. It is what it is. We're gonna have ranked teams in the Sun Belt anyways, so it's gonna be tough. Shoot. Yeah, Notre Dame, South Bend, that's probably going to be a loss of the bye. Then open up against Coastal Carolina, which will be tough. And then we get home against Ball State. So we have Charlotte and Ball State as our 2 kind of teams we can rely on. But, I mean, Texas State there. Other than that, these conferences are really important. So our first rival is Arkansas State. So our rivals are Louisiana and Arkansas State. So realistically, you're probably going to have to win both. They're both on the road to. Realistically, we're probably going to both have to win these games to keep Doug Marrone in business here. Because, I mean, Target wins that schedule. I don't know, it'll be tough. I think all these guys will have the same goal. Let's just get to 5 wins. If they get to 5 wins, I'll be pretty happy. Dan Quinn. Kind of just going to basically go over all those guys. His OC is Derek Wareheim and Rocky Long. They're all going to obviously. Here's what this situation's looking like. It's a lot safer. 5 years and only turnovers per year is 5. So, yes, you play pretty bad. You're probably going to get fired year 1 if you do bad, but I think it's safer than most. And I think we should have decent season to look at the season we got. Home against Houston, home opener, we're going to bye. At Arizona State, I try to put a ranked opponent on everyone's schedule just to have that test, see if we can maybe get a win. You never know. Bye, and then UNLV, home against Tennessee State. Our rivals will be UTEP, which we're going to play on a conference, and Nevada. So just Nevada and UTEP. So I think those are winnable games. UTEP is a user game, so I'll have Tannequin versus Adam Gase. And a rivalry game, which is probably... This game right here is probably going to have huge implications because these guys are fighting for their jobs, so remember that. And we're trying to get to that goal of 5 wins, and these guys are probably hovering around that, so we'll see. Next guy's Anthony Lynn. He's going to have Eric Lewis, DC, Terry Malone as the OC. His contract is kind of the same as I would say more like Will Muschamp's, just not as long, and it's 7 years target per win, but they went 2-10 3 years ago, so I don't know. Kind of like up in the air, kind of like all these guys are, to be honest. Here's our schedule. By the East Carolina on the road, which is interesting. We go to road to Indiana. First home game will be against Marshall. Then we play Temple at home. Alright, so we have Kent State as a rival. Toledo as our rival. Okay, so we have Kent State and Toledo back to back. This is make or break games right here for us. We gotta win these games. Got to. We have to win these games. Those games. It's a must. Next up is Bill O'Brien. He's got Jess Lote and Barry Lumley Jr. These guys. Contract for Bill O'Brien. Pretty safe. It's the exact same contract as Anthony Lynn. So hopefully they do good. UCSA just had 1 year and didn't make a bowl game, but hopefully we can make a bowl game with these guys. Here's the custom schedule. We have Colorado State as our home opener. Should be a tough game. Then we go at Oklahoma State and Bedlam. That should be interesting. Utah. We play Utah. I don't know why it's not a rivalry. Okay. We're home against Central Michigan. Who are our rivals? Do we even have rivals? No rivals. Okay, so we don't have to worry about a rivalry game with UTSA. Alright, so we can honestly just focus on ourselves, just get wins. Okay, so that's good for Bill O'Brien. Now it's Tom Herman, who's knows a few things about this college football thing. Joseph Gillespie is the DC, and Calvin Lowry is the OC. His contract is relatively, it's the exact same as Will Muschamp, so seems like these college coaches have a little more respect than the NFL guys, so but Tulsa is actually first off a Conference USA championship game appearance. I think they might have won. And a Liberty Bowl win. So, a lot to live up to there. But we have 7 years, so the 5-win season shouldn't hurt too bad. At least I hope so. I hope it doesn't. Because if it does, then we're in trouble. Off week 1, we play Rice. It's a rivalry game, which is huge. We also going to have experience because Air Force will play them. So, home opener there. Then we play Ohio, so 2 kind of cakewalks. But we want us to lose to both of these. That's a big game. Rice is a big game. Anyways, out of the road to Iowa State. That's going to be a tough one. Definitely like the point there. So, we have Rice, Houston, UCF, and yeah. So, Rice, Houston, and UCF are our rivalry games. Okay. Jesus. Like I said, it's a lot. It's kind of up in the air, to be honest. With all these teams, we don't know how these teams are going to play out. Doug Peterson has Scott Stallone and Doug Roos as the coordinators. Contract with Georgia Southern, same as Muschamp and can't even talk. Muschamp and Tom Herman. So yeah, 5 years. I think should be fine. They want a long-term. They want a long-term coach, obviously. They think Doug Peterson's the guy. So we'll start off with home against Buffalo. We'll go on the road against Coastal. Home against Coastal, which is huge for us. That is a rivalry game, so that's our one rival. At Vanderbilt, which honestly could be an upset alert for us. Then we could Ohio State. Jesus. Okay. Rivalry game. So it's gonna be App State. App State, Georgia State. We have 3 rivals, so we're gonna have to clutch up. We're gonna have to do really good against these rivals. And it's one's week 2. Jesus. Okay. We're gonna have to clutch up from that Peterson. Now Patricia, probably entering with the worst team in this game. Matt Patricia's head coach. You got Matt Feeney and Tommy Zagorowski as his coordinators. Akron is going to give him a 5-year contract, respectively. So yeah, 5 wins is actually really good. That's the target wins per year. You see, this program has been so bad. Like, look how god-awful. They haven't had a 10 wins. They didn't have a 10-win season, dude. Look how god-awful it is, dude. Alright. Can't get much worse than there, so, I think the most safe guys here, I think the only safe guys to do season year 1 is Patricia, Peterson, Herman, and Muschamp. Unless you see something on the Mason's contract, I don't see that. We have home against Marshall for the home opener, then bye in Central. And East Michigan on the road to losing, and that's our ranked game. Home against Bowling Green, on the road against Bowling Green, against home. Alright, rivals Kent State. One rival. So our rivalry game is going to be Kent State, so let's see what we can do there. Hopefully we can win. Finally, we'll go with, actually I'm Gase. Shoot, I'm stupid. I'm Gase, Bradley Dale, DePivito, and Dave Warner. Coordinators. Same thing. I'm Gase has got 5 years, and this team's been really pretty awful. So, not much to live up to, if you ask me. So, again, 5 wins. If we get 5 wins to every team, I think we should be fine with wins against our rivals, obviously. Our ranked games against at Coastal Carolina, then we get on the road against Marshall, and then our home opener will be against UTSA. New Mexico is our rival. That's our one rivalry, I think. Yeah, okay, there's one rival, and that is New Mexico. And then Derek Mason, I think is he safe? Is he good? Is he good? Chris Hampton, Chip Longer is OCDC. Is he good? Yeah, okay, so Derek Mason, Tom Herman, Doug Peterson, Will Muschamp, and Matt Patricia are all safe. So I think they're safe this year. Everyone else is going to show. Bo Maroon's going to be tough. Anyways, bye. Home against West Texas. Then we go on the road to Indiana. Home against Rutgers. Away at Florida Atlantic. Who are our rivals? Do we even have rivals? We don't even have a rival. That's sad. So no rivals. Tulane. With that said, let's take a look at our house rules. Everything about Heisman. 6 minutes, player minute threshold. I'll show you all the sliders and everything we got going on. Here are the game rules. Yeah, nothing else really to like. So we're gonna rock with that. Just gonna. You can say hi. There's us. There's the AI. The reason why I'm not like completely bumped up compared to us is because if I had everything at 100, like it'd be like cute quarterbacks would be freaking crazy good. It's just So we're gonna roll with. Hopefully if they're good, they're at the most realistic setting, I think, at least. And we can probably get. And with that being said, I think that's really all I need to talk about. We haven't run over the rosters yet, but we will before week 1. So yeah, that'll pretty much do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in week number 1.